Hello, Drama Alert Nation. It's your host. Okay, I'll stop the meme there. Let's not continue with the meme. The meme's dead. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the stream. Hopefully, you're all having a good day. I don't know, or night. I guess most of you. Actually, now that I think about it, probably like 95% of you are probably in the night time. So, welcome everyone. Hopefully, having a good day. It's only like 9 o'clock for me. So, yeah. So hopefully everyone's... Why am I looking over here? Look over here, you idiot. Just give me 2 seconds. I need to move something over here. I'm almost done. One more click, hopefully, after this, and we should be sweet. Okay, I think we're done. Let's get right into the... Okay, let's just move on. Hello, everyone that's coming in. Hello, Stian. I'm not too sure how to pronounce that. What's the oh yeah yeah meme? I don't get it. I see a lot of comments. I think like half my comment section from last couple of videos have just been oh yeah yeah. Hello everyone that's coming in. It's 12 past midnight where you are. Jesus God. Like, why am I saying like as if it's like I'm insulting you? I'm up at that time most of the time anyway. Hello, Ricky. Hello, Grant. Hello, Ghost with an X. Did no one notice that Future done talking? Yeah. Oh, well, yeah, we'll talk about that in a second, I guess. We'll talk about some other shows because, you know, all the shows have aired now, so we can talk about them. Ever notice how Grant Gustin is a bobblehead personified? Yeah, I don't know what channel it was, did the whole, like, flash thing, and then I think Grant Gustin, this is when he had Twitter, I think it was, he actually, like, retweeted the video and, like, talked about it. There's, like, some video that just pointed out that he always bobbles his head, but a lot of actors do that. It's easier than standing like a stiff board and just going, yes, my name is Barry Allen, and I am, you know. If I look weird, I've literally... got back from the gym like half an hour ago, so I haven't had a shower yet. Maybe too much information, stinky pagey, but anyway, I need to take Cal for a walk in like an hour, and then I'll have a shower. So don't complain about how I look. Don't cyberbully me. The Flash trailer, yeah, I can't remember. Was it Honest Trailers? Yeah, I can't remember who it was. I can't remember what channel it was. But there was like a video where they pointed out that he looks like a bobblehead when he talks sometimes, and like showed like multiple different things from I think seasons 1 to 3. I think it was around season 3 that it came out. Anyway, it probably Honest Trailers. Honest Trailers is probably the series, I guess, that would do something like that. So it must have been them. How am I doing? That's coming from Jay. I'm doing okay. You know, it's freaking hot today though. God, I'm getting over the heat really quickly. Can I floss? Not today. We won't floss today. Maybe for a special occasion. Maybe when we hit 250,000 subscribers, I'll pull out the floss. Or dab. Maybe do a poll. Dab or floss. Or Millie Rock. Millie Rock can be the third option. But welcome everyone to the stream. I know it's a bit of a later stream. Like it's a weird time to stream because it's sometimes a bit too early for Americans and it's a bit too late for UK. But I thought I'm not uploading a video today, so I thought I'd just chuck in a random stream for a bit. Just to have a chat. But if you are... new to the streams, or if you just need a refresh, if you want your question 100% answered or your comment 100% read out, you just want to support the channel and myself, you can super chat by clicking the little dollar emblem down below. It's like a Minecraft dollar emblem. That's the best way to put it. Or you can click the link at the top of the description, which does say streamlabs.com/page, I think it is, and that takes you to a place where you can, I think, pay through PayPal or something like that. It's the same thing, but they both appear on stream. And yeah, just like Slade Wilson did. So Slade donated $2. Thank you very much, Deathstroke. And went, will Thea and Present Roy ever come back? Willa Holland, who plays Thea, is meant to be in not this week's episode of Arrow, so the one that's out in like what 3 or 4 days or something, but the one after that. She's listed as being in the 100th episode, which is episode 12. And we know that it's going to be like a documentary style episode, so I'm guessing they're going to interview her. And the thing with that is that she might not even have to go up to Vancouver to do it. She could have just gone to like a Warner Brothers studio in LA and film there. So it might have been easier to get her to do something. She wouldn't have to go to Vancouver, hang out with anyone else. She could just do it in LA. So maybe that's what she did. But she's listed as being in the episode. and I'm guessing that might be a way to get a lot of people in this episode is due to the fact that it's documentary, so they can just film in certain studios wherever they might live. So that might be the way that they're getting around it. But thank you. In regards to President Roy, I would say yes because, well, it just ties to the future stuff, but I think it's going to be later on in the season. However, I think in this week's episode, Oliver does reference Roy not even being on the continent. However, that's because him, Thea, and Nyssa went on that like Lazarus Pit expedition. So that's what I saw a lot of people referring to. How Oliver knew that he was on Lian Yu, and I was like, no, it's because remember last season they went on the expedition to get the Lazarus Pit. So yeah. Cicada has overstayed his welcome. Bring on Reverse Flash. Well, this is a thing because let me know in the chat as well what you think about this, because I'm sort of conflicted, and I think a lot of people haven't maybe thought this through. With Reverse Flash, what would you rather? Would you rather they quickly shove him in the back half of this season, make him the villain, and we get like maybe 8 episodes of Reverse Flash, if that, depends how long they take to do the whole clock countdown thing. I'll do a video specifically on that over the weekend just to go over some things and some other stuff. Would you rather them shove him in for the last 8 episodes, or would you rather them slow bake it and then he escapes at the end and it sets up next season where he is the main villain? What would you rather? Because personally for me, there's other stuff going on outside of... Because usually with the Flash, the villain is the main story. However, the main story isn't Cicada. He's just there. He's just a constant threat. And the other story is more about like Barry's fate, Barry's legacy, as well as tying in Reverse Flash there as well. For me, I would rather they just keep Cicada there because we've already had the majority of the season with him. So I'd rather just keep him there, slow bag Reverse Flash, do some stuff with Nora, lead up to whatever she's going to do, whether it's a grand sacrifice or whatever that might be, and then find out more about this future that we're not going to see. You know, I would like to see more of 2049 that doesn't involve Reverse Flash being the villain. Just, you know, or just future stuff leading up to 2049, like what happens with future stuff that we know we're not going to see in the Arrowverse with the Flash at least. So, personally, I would rather just keep Cicada as the villain, you know, just cause some mayhem. Sure, it's not going to be as entertaining as another character. Keep him there and then slow back Reverse Flash, tease certain things, and then it leads into next season. That's what I would prefer personally. And trust me, I'm a YouTuber. It'd be awesome if you could clickbait Reverse Flash every single video, but I also like watching the show and it just making not sense, or not, you want it to make sense, but I just don't want like awesome things to happen just for the sake of it. I'd rather like it builds up, builds up properly, and you're not just throwing everything on the wall and just seeing what sticks. You know what I mean? Recon Chameleon with the $5. Thank you very much for that, Recon. Cicada is the Flash version of Dr. Eggman, always flying away in his damaged pod when they have him cornered. Basically, like that's the thing. Like Cicada getting away is the biggest meme of 2019, I think, so far, because that was some people said, someone was like, "Oh, Paigey, you just don't understand because you don't have children. If you had children, you'd understand why Barry." And I was like, no. That's stupid. Anyone that thought that, I'm sorry. No. Barry's a hero first. Do you think him hugging Nora... Like, Barry should have known that Nora was going to recover. Because the same thing happened to him in Season 2. The exact... If anything, it was worse with Barry because he was injected with those 2 doses of... 1 dose is enough to, like, completely wipe you out. He had 2 doses and then Zoom stabbed him in the back. Didn't break him, stabbed him in the back. Barry was worse off and he recovered pretty easily. I don't know if it's just Barry being dumb or all the Team Flash being dumb. She was going to recover. Might have taken a bit longer, but she was going to recover. Now you just let this guy go away who's on a murdering rampage and he's probably going to kill more people. So whose fault is that? It's Barry's. Because he decided that, oh, I need to hug my daughter. Sure, you could have waited 30 seconds. Or someone could have brought, you know, a pair of... What's those things we always use every single episode? What are they called? Does anyone remember what... I think they start with an M. Police officers use, like a powered metahuman cuffs, metahuman dampening cuffs. Why do we not? We bring them along all the time, but when this time around we just forget to bring them. You know what I mean? Silly. Like I don't mind Cicada keep on going, but don't set up a situation where it just makes Barry, Nora, or mainly Barry and Nora look like complete idiots. You know what I mean?
This house
So anyway, that was just incredibly silly, and you can't defend it. Like it's just lazy writing almost. Jay with the £5. I've got to get used to these symbols because they're really small on my screen here. Jay with the £5. Thank you very much for that. Will Oliver's sister be become, sorry, put like a space in between be and become part of Team Arrow like Roy and Thea did? If so, when do you reckon? It probably matters when maybe Oliver gets involved, because Oliver's working with the SCPD. There's not going to be really like a full-on proper like official Team Arrow, but I guess the official Team Arrow at the moment is Renee, Curtis, and Emiko. They're basically Team Arrow at the moment. I'm gonna I don't know. Let me know if you agree with me. Do you think there's gonna be some drama between Oliver and the SCPD at some point this season? I would say yes. I don't know when, but I'd say yes, which would cause stuff to change and like proper Team Arrow to come back together. And it wouldn't surprise me if like Emiko becomes like Red Arrow or something like that at some point this season, because I don't think you're gonna be able to have two Green Arrows running around. I just don't think that will work. But I think at some point, and it might be right towards the end, like they might save for like the last 3 episodes before it's fully come together. So we might just be seeing them separate for a bit. And maybe it's just when like the interactions between Oliver and Emiko are going to be just them as brother and sister, not as like, you know, teammates on a vigilante team. There's the super chat from Dan. I just want to read through the chat quickly. I just want to make sure I didn't miss anything. Why is my mouse not working? There we go. Sorry, I just got to scroll because I missed a lot when I was talking. When do I think the Flash will end? The Flash probably has like, in regards to main villains, they could probably use like another 2 or 3 main villains. So, take from that what you will in regards to how long it can go in regards to like a season length. Thank you, Atatiana. Hopefully I'm terrible with names. You guys know this. Atatiana. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. Apparently my biggest fan from New York City. I wonder what time would it be there. It'd be like 6 o'clock at night? 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock? One of the two. Yeah, a lot of people going on about the dampening cuffs and stuff like that. Nora Allen, worst daughter ever. Iris, worst mother ever. I don't know, I think Iris was... The only weird scene with Iris in the last episode was that thing with Sherlock, and the only reason that's weird is because we know that Sherlock's right. Yeah, so like someone said, because I said it was like a terribly placed scene. If that scene's in like episode 6 or 5 or something, perfect scene. And I was like, no, it makes no sense. It's this one. Someone tried to like complain and debate with me. It's like, no, it's perfectly placed. I'm like, it's far from perfect. You can say you didn't mind it, but to say it's perfectly placed is a bit over the top. But we'll get to Dan's super chat, £5. Thank you very much for that, Dan McFrig. What do you think about The Flash? I don't like recent episodes as much. Maybe it's because of Arrow being so good. I don't know. Hope you're doing well. Thank you very much for that, Dan. Yeah, well, I made a point, and I was like, Arrow basically killed it in its first half in a good way. Like, it basically nailed every episode, in my opinion. Maybe, I think it was one episode was a bit, but it was still good. It's like when we had, like, there wasn't a lot of Prison Oliver. We might have had, like, 10 minutes in the whole episode. I think it was, like, episode 4 or 5, maybe. But the rest, but all the other episodes, like, are really good. Arrow didn't have a filler in the first half, and Arrow didn't have a flop of an episode. Flash arguably had 1 or 2 flops in the first half, and a decent amount. Like, you probably had, like, you could argue maybe 3 or 4 fillers. Which in the first half, 3 or 4 fillers. Seeing you have a crossover episode there as well, bit concerning. In the back half, though, I think Flash is going to build up, but they have really annoyed the fan base, and I can see this from, you know, my videos and just doing the comment section and stuff like that and going through. People are annoyed with how the Flash promoted their mid-season stuff, because let me know in the comment section or the chat, what do you want to call it, how many of you thought we'd be going to the future in episode 10? Because I thought we were. When you get that first promo, you expect... Because you got to remember, in the first promo they released, like a couple of hours after the Elseworlds crossover, it was like a day after, one of the two, they show the future stuff. So you just expect, okay, episode 10 is going to be the future episode. We're going to like the Flash Museum and stuff. And then they released another promo, and it's the car episode, which is exactly what the episode was. So you're confused. I'm like, okay, so we're getting this car meta tech villain, and then we're getting future stuff. And it was like, and then it looked like maybe Nora was going to be dealing with the car while Barry and Iris were in the future. And then we got that other trailer, which contained 3 episodes, episode 10, 11, and 12. And now we find out that the future stuff isn't until episode 12, this week's episode. So I think that's what's playing into people getting frustrated, because I can see it now. I'm still like, I get comments all the time, and they're like, this episode sucked. They're like, why didn't we get the future stuff and stuff like that? Because people are expecting this massive thing to happen, and the Flash doesn't deliver, which makes me think it's essentially, is it clickbait? It's like a bait and switch, like saying, oh look, this is coming in, they're just giving you another episode. It's almost like they were concerned people weren't going to watch because of the car episode or something. It's weird, and I can understand why people get annoyed. Arrow did a similar trailer, but they left it right till the end. They didn't, bait people in with fake stuff from the beginning, while the Flash did do that. So it's weird. Not too sure why they would do that promotional-wise. I don't know. That might play into it. Like if they just honest and show you what was going to happen, I think people could be disappointed because they're just laying it out there saying like, yo, this is happening. But when you present something else and you don't deliver, that's gonna disappoint people. It's like showing like movie trailers and stuff, when they show you cool scenes or tease certain scenes, then they're not in the movie. Weird stuff like that. Or they film fake stuff for the trailer that's not in the movie. So a lot of people got annoyed by Infinity War when they filmed like that fake scene with like Hulk in Wakanda. Was it like Hulk and Wakanda, and who was the other character? There's like another character that wasn't in there. Maybe it's just Hulk. Maybe it might have been just Hulk and Wakanda, and people were annoyed that actually wasn't in the movie. So I'm just going through the chat. How do you believe that Nora is poorly written? Where do you think she'll end up? The main issue with Nora, I don't think Nora is extremely poorly written. I just, like, in regards to a story sense, like if you just laid it out, okay, this happened to Nora, this happened to Nora, this happened to Nora. It's not that poorly written. It's just on an episode by episode basis. It feels like she'll do one thing that's good, but then she'll do a couple of things that's stupid, a few things that are really stupid. So it's always like one step forward for Nora in an episode, but also 2 steps back. So she's never really advancing as a character on an episode to episode basis. If you just basically like gave like a brief synopsis of her character this season, it wouldn't look too bad. But if you're watching it on an episode by episode basis, you're like, wow, this is so inconsistent. So hopefully they build it up going forward. Maybe when she's like clean. By clean, I mean like she's not keeping any secrets. Maybe there's proper progression there. But I don't know. Also, let me know in the chat. I believe that when they were going, they were thinking up the idea of Nora, I believe they were like, Nora's going to be like 15 or 16. I believe exactly that's what, or maybe 18 at the oldest. Nora was going to be like a teenager. However, when Jessica Parker Kennedy got brought into it, it was like, well, we can't have her be 18 or something. Even though I think maybe Jessica Parker Kennedy could play off an 18-year-old. Maybe they got like the right hairstyle and the right clothing choices and stuff like that. Because she's like, looks ridiculously young for her age. But obviously they decided to go, okay, well, maybe no one will believe her that she's 18, so we'll make her older. But they've kept her writing and the mannerisms that they wanted to keep with the character as like a 16 to 18-year-old, even though she's like almost 30 in the show. And it doesn't work a lot of the time. It's just like, is the future just really just like immature or something? Like, you know what I mean? It makes no sense. So, and like people wondering like, oh, how did Jessica Parker Kennedy get brought into it? Because people have asked me this before. She was on like Black Sails, which Todd Helbing and I think his brother produced. They were producers on that show when it was on. Essentially that show ended, I think. Or they just went off it, and that's why they like doing the Flash more or something like that. Or maybe his brother, I don't know. Anyway, they were connected to that show, and that's how Todd Helbing, the showrunner for the Flash from last season and this season, knew of Jessica Parker Kennedy and stuff. The Soul Seeker with $3. Thank you very much for that. You should have 1 million subs. Thank you much. Thank you very much for Soul Seeker. The fact that I have over 200,000 subscribers for a channel that just basically does DC TV content is actually pretty insane. Seeing that the show isn't like the most popular shows, or these shows aren't. But thank you very much for that, Soul Seeker. Dogs next door, do you want to be quiet? I don't know if you can hear them. But why are they barking? There's literally nothing going on. Barry with the £5. Thank you very much for that, Barry. Is it just me or Caitlin that looks more like Nora's mum than Iris? I think it might just be you, Barry. Just to be completely honest, I have. If anything, I think she looks a lot like Iris. I think that's why she was probably cast. Each their own. But thank you very much for the super chat. Greatly appreciated. Jay, once again with the £2. Thank you very much for that. Will they bring Black Lightning to the Arrowverse? Very must much asked question or much thought up question by a lot of people. I think the thing with Black Lightning, it's sort of struggling for views this season. Their showrunner is in the absolute shits. Sorry for swearing, I don't usually swear, but he's in the absolute shits. He's like some abuse charges or harassment charges on something like that. So it'd be very surprising if he got through this season as the showrunner. He's like the brain behind it. If he does get through, there might just be like a lot of people like, oh, I'm not going to watch because this dude. The thing that Black Lightning has on its side is Crisis. Okay, so we have Crisis happening later this year. God, I got to get used to it being 2019. But we have, Crisis happening later this year. So there is a possibility that, they'll bring Black Lightning into it, and then it's connected to the Arrowverse. If they're going to say that Black Lightning exists on Earth like 42 or something like that, then they will be brought into it. He might not play a part in Crisis as a main player, you know what I mean? But he might get merged right at the end or something, and then that's where they pick up from there. Black Lightning has been low-key sucking these past 2 episodes. Yeah, I'm not caught up. I think I'm like episode 6 or 7 or something like that. I have to check my Netflix. Isaac, Black Lightning Season 1 is one of the best seasons of TV. Well, DC TV, it's very good. Black Lightning Season 1. Has like a couple of 1 or 2 rough episodes in like the middle or probably the second, third. But overall, it's a very good season 1. Oh, God, it is hot. I'm not going to lie. I am literally boiling. Hi, Paige. I've been your biggest fan forever. You're such a great YouTuber. Thank you very much for that night bomb. Tobias has a thug-ass moment on Khalil. Yeah, I've heard that. I've heard that there's a bit of a badass moment. I'm going to have to catch up. I might catch up over this weekend. I might watch some today, actually. Turn on the fan if it's so hot. No, the fan makes too much noise, so I'm literally battling through this. I'm not going to die. I'm not going to pass out, just hot. I'd rather actually get hot and, once again, getting too much information. I'd rather get hot and sweat right now because I haven't had a shower yet. So I'd rather get hot, sweat, take my dog for a walk, and then come home and have a shower. What's the temperature in Queensland? It is currently... It's meant to rain. Actually, it will rain now that I think about it. But that's worse. I don't know if you guys know it, but in... Where I live, I'd rather it not rain if it's warm, because the rain comes down, it gets all sticky and it gets all humid and stuff like that. Ugh, it's worse when it rains. So I'd rather it not rain. Grant, Stephen, and Jessica have been on the on 90210 on the CW. I think I heard Grant was. I think someone posted something on my Twitter or something about it. People are asking about Jericho and Titans. Yeah, I heard that. Apparently, so Jericho, who is Deathstroke's son, is that... Which one is it? That's not Joe, is it? Jericho, DC. It's not Joe Wilson, I'm pretty sure it's the other one. Oh no, it's Joe Wilson. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is Joe Wilson, okay. Okay, it is Joe. Okay. I was sort of confused, like, is it Joe? Is it Joe? And it is. Okay, so it is Joe Wilson. So Deathstroke's son's going to be in Season 2 of Titans, which basically confirms, I guess, that Deathstroke's going to be there. Unless they're going to set up for Deathstroke at a later season. I don't know. Can you see Mob Rule as a main villain in The Flash? Not a main villain, no way. Like, they've said Mob Rule. Oh no, Mob Rule was in the comics. They didn't say Mob Rule in episode 1, did they? Mob Rule was the villain in the comics that did the whole plane thing. That happened in episode 1. What do I think about the metahuman cure? I think it makes sense. It just matters where it goes. Is it going to be this? The metahuman cure going to be this thing that works this season, and then next season it doesn't work? Is it going to be one of those things? Hopefully, if the metahuman cure is more of a storyline that goes on past this season. You know what I mean? Titan season 1 was terrible. I thought it ended in a... I didn't mind the ending. It's just that you could tell that like it had been picked apart. But overall, I thought the show was good, and I'm looking forward to next season. Can Flash make up their own villains? If they want to, I think I would prefer the big bads just keep them comic book accurate and stuff like that. But they should take they should make up their own villains. I think for like a weekly thing, I wouldn't mind that. Like think up a cool metahuman. Make your own character. Arrow made up Diggle. Just make up your own character. I still want Cobalt Blue as a season 6 or season 7 villain. Yeah, I want Cobalt Blue at one stage, just because I think the storyline that could play out would be extremely interesting. When Cicada is about to use his knife, why doesn't Barry just go into Flash time and make him slower to get away? Right now, the Flash has a reaction speed of a snail. That's why, if you remember, Enter Flash time, I was sort of disappointed by that episode, and following the episode, I was sort of concerned, because I was like, well, if we have this, like, overpowered thing, where you're essentially, like, unstoppable, like, you're so much faster than the bullet, you can go into Flash time as a nuke goes off and spend, like, what, 30 minutes in our time running around doing stuff. You should not lose anything. Like, fair enough, the Cicada thing, when the dagger and it damages your powers, fair enough. But, like, once you have your, like, anything else, like, the Flash time thing should be, like, a cheat code for Barry. Like, he can never use, unless he's obviously bursting another speed, so that goes into Flash time. So, that's why I always had my issues about them bringing it in, because it's like, they're not going to consistently use it. Like, you know, we've seen it multiple times now where Barry just doesn't use it. And then he's like, oh, well, I got beaten. How did I get beaten? It's because you didn't use your powers, idiot. Like, you know, that's why I was, like, a bit annoyed by it. Dylan with the $2. Thank you very much for that, Dylan. Is the actor who plays Cisco leaving Flash? It seems like they might be hinting at it. Carlos Valdez. There was a big rumor, and some of you guys might have remembered me talking about it. There was a big rumor early on this before the season even started, like maybe like a month before the season started, that Carlos Valdez would be leaving the Flash at the end of this season. And from what we're seeing in this storyline so far, it seems like that might happen. Hopefully it doesn't, because I think Cisco is arguably the most important character on the show in regards to just keeping everything together. Like, he is that center. Like, I think he is like the heart of the show. I think him, Caitlin, having a Wells there, that Star Labs crew is the heart of the show. And losing one of them is bad, but I think losing Cisco is probably the worst. I think you could go a season without a Wells. Like, it'd be bad losing Caitlin, but obviously you got to remember that Cisco, you know, is like the, you know, the references, the icebreaker and stuff like that, breaks the tension a lot of the time. So when you lose that character, I don't know how they're going to replace him. Obviously, Ralph can come into that role, but also Cisco's like an engineer and, you know, makes a lot of things up. So I don't know where they'll go forward. Obviously, if he left, maybe Ryan Choi would come in, the Atom. Maybe that's why they teased him at the, like, Ryan Choi, the new Atom, who apparently made the Flash ring. Maybe that's why they teased him, like, making the Flash ring in the first episode, because he's going to come in and replace Cisco. Maybe that's what's going to happen. I might do a video on this if I have time over the weekend, if I can fit it in, but it might be next week. Whenever I can fit it in, I'll probably do a video more in depth going over Cisco, if he's going to leave and what would happen once he left, who would replace him, etc. We actually did get a donation through Streamlabs from Vix. Very generous. Thank you very much for that, Vix. Greatly appreciated. Always supporting the channel. Does Nora have to go back to the future? Maybe the time clock is Nora's time of existence. Maybe future Iris knows she does not come back, and that's why she took off her powers. I think Nora, like, really, Nora should still not be in the present day. Like, the fact that she's still here is a bit eye-rolling. Like, she's just completely ruining herself. In regards to the time clock, once again, I'll probably do a video on this more specifically over the weekend. I think it's probably just as simple as just countdown to execution, because in the comics, I think Wally specifically was not all for it, but he had nothing against it. But I think Barry was as well. Was that they were, you know, fine with execution. You know, like, if you are a murderer, serial killer, if you get executed and stuff like that, they're fine with that. So maybe that's what's happening there. If it's like a countdown to, like, him fading from existence, or countdown to a crisis, it doesn't make sense why there'd be a clock there. You know what I mean? So that doesn't make too much sense there. The thing with the clock is that, like, is Nora, like, making sure to travel back like 2 seconds after she left? Is that what she's doing? So she's making sure to be there. So she, you know, she's not coming back, like, in her real time. You know, she's just so, like, oh crap, Ebard's been dead for 2 days. Crap. You know, is she making sure to come back just a couple of seconds after she left, so that time isn't going down heaps fast or heaps quickly? That's probably an interesting thing. in regards to future Iris knowing, I think mainly the future Iris thing is just around like Barry's powers. I think that's basically it. I think they've moved on from that. I don't think we'll come back to the whole Iris putting the chip in her. I think we've moved on from that. I'd prefer if they didn't come back to that, to be completely honest as well. I'm more interested to see what else is an issue in the future. Like, what was their relationship like? Was it standoffish? Can we actually see like a visual representation of that? That's probably what I'm interested in. I think we might get a bit of that this week. Not a lot, a bit of that. Candace Patton did say we're meant to see an older Iris, so it's going to be her with like a bit of grey hair, some like makeup and stuff to make her look older. Because what's this? This is like 30 years in the future. But I don't know if it's going to be this week, because I think in an interview she said it was coming, but they hadn't filmed it yet. And I think they'd filmed this episode by that point in time. So I'm guessing we might get it later on the season, maybe when more Reverse Flash stuff happens. But yeah, we are going to be getting a future Iris. Or I hope it would be cool if it was a whole episode in the future, but I have a feeling it's just going to be some like Nora flashbacks in the future, which I think they said would be the case. But thank you very much for that, Vix. Hopefully I was able to like go into as much detail as possible as I possibly could. Let's just go through the chat now. Sorry, I've missed a lot of it. Thoughts on Cicada's character being around still feel it dragged out to me? Yeah, it might feel dragged out, but I'd rather just keep Cicada to the rest of the bill and then just like slow bake. What do you call it? Reverse Flash to come next season. So yeah, that's what I prefer. What do you think of Emergency Awesome's theory of the nurse being the main antagonist? I don't think. Yeah, I don't want to call out Charlie, but that was on Reddit like on the day of the episode. Someone pointed that out to me. I was like, I think someone like tweeted me. I was like, I think Charlie stole this theory of thing. It's like, I don't know if he stole it. You know, we've all had the same. You know, how many people would have had the theory of like Nora working with Reverse Flash without hearing it? You know what I mean? You know, people just, you know, not everyone's a freaking genius and works out theories at the same time. But that theory was on Reddit like during the episode. And it might have even been on before. I'm not too sure. Because the nurse has been a bit suspicious. It lagged for you for a few seconds. I don't think I'm getting any drop frames. It might have just been you. If anyone else got lag, let me know. But I'm not dropping any frames. Anything on Crisis on Infinite Earths? We actually did get some sort of like a Crisis on Infinite Earths stuff in regards to Arrow. So I will be doing a video on that over the weekend. So yeah. I don't know anymore. I don't know why, but I found myself not that excited for these shows anymore. I still watch them and enjoy them, but they don't have the same effect on me as they used to. Is it just me? Personally, I can understand where you're coming from, because I remember like watching like in regards to a YouTube sense, I remember like being like super excited to watch season 2 of The Flash and get into it and watch it and just talk the hell about it on YouTube. I remember those days, and like that was awesome. Like season 2 of The Flash being on YouTube and doing all that. I got the feeling with that like Arrow season 5 as well, just excited to talk about it and all of that. And I can sort of understand like where you're coming from. Which is why I think a lot of the time people just wait till the seasons are over, or they'll wait till half the season's over and then just binge watch whatever episodes they have to watch. But like, you know, what do you call it? On a weekly basis, you know, I can understand why maybe your hype levels aren't as high as they maybe used to. Hello, Alameen. Welcome to the chat. Who do you think will be the main villain of Arrow? They're really just teasing Ninth Circle with the whole Dante thing. I'm excited where they're going. I'm excited to see how long it takes them to show what's going on. However, some stuff in the trailer for this week's episode of Arrow is super interesting. I'm like, wow, I wasn't expecting that. Like, ties back to like season 1. It was pretty crazy. Do you think Grace will end up being a meta? Maybe, you think so, but it'd be interesting because she gets stabbed, didn't she? She got like hit with some stuff of it, so maybe, I don't know. What do I think about Shazam? Are you going to watch it? Of course I'm going to watch Shazam. I'm excited to see when they release that trailer. Hopefully they give us like a heads up when the trailer's coming out, because if that's the case, I'll do a live stream for it. Why didn't they make season... I was about to say Season Master. Why didn't they make Mirror Master a season-long big bad? There's It'd be hard to be completely honest. I can understand how they can make Cicada a season long be bad because of just like the whole, gaining power through killing metahumans and stuff. Like it's like a power bar, if you want to call it. So here's the beginning of season 1. Here's the end. Oh, here's the beginning of the season. Here's the end of the season. As we move along, he gets more powerful and all that as we move towards the end. So I can understand using Cicada. It's similar to Devo. That's probably the biggest issue with them using Cicada. He's similar to Devo in regards to he has to gain all that power and stuff through killing. Once again, sort of similar to Zoom in regards to taking speed, but Zoom was only doing that for a handful of people, so it wasn't too bad. What was the even question? I just lost track of what I was saying. Anyway, whatever it was, there's my answer to whatever I was talking about. Most episodes feel like filler content. Yeah, but I'm hoping that they just get out over the filler content, we move forward, and just this relevance. I don't mind if there's filler stuff in an episode, but at least make most of your episodes relevant to the main plot. If Flash wants to do a 2-part of this season, what do you want it to be about? Probably the Grod King Shark stuff, just because I don't know what else you do, unless it's like a future episode, maybe. They went the Journey to Earth 2 episode, maybe go Journey to the Future. That'd be either that. So Grod and King Shark or Journey to the Future. One of the two. I was talking about Mirror Master, that's right. Yeah, the thing with Mirror Master is that there's no power level thing there. If they did Mirror Master, they'd probably do the rogues, and they can have Mirror Master leading the rogues. That's probably, or some sort of rogue team formation. That's what I'd do if they were to use Mirror Master. I loved Flash episode 11. Yeah, Flash episode 11 got a lot of crap. I thought it wasn't an amazing episode, but I thought it was a decent episode, much better than last week. So I was sort of surprised. Once again, I think I might tie into the whole thing where people were expecting future stuff or something like that. But I enjoyed it for what it was. Maybe the ending was a bit annoying for people. They let Cicada get away. The rogues need to be big bad for season 6 with Reverse Flash leading them. Well, we know we're getting that new rogues thing happening. I don't know when that's happening this season, but apparently it's Spins coming back and all that. So we've got a formation of them. But I don't think I'd do a rogues with Reverse Flash leading them. I'd rather Reverse Flash just be his own thing. Are they going to have a Flash and Arrow crossover this season? Not that I know of. Unless, no, they'll probably just keep it separate. It's hard. The crossovers are hard to sort out. When will Batwoman air? Do you think Batman will show up like Superman and Supergirl, or even Batwing? Batwing, I wouldn't surprise me in the slightest if he shows up. In regards to when it's airing, it's going to be starting to film in the next month and a half or so. Within a month and a half, it's sometime in March. In regards to it airing, I would say it would just air when the show's... It matters how many episodes it gets. If it only gets 12 to 13 episodes, then it probably won't start until around this time next year. Maybe take away a week or two. But if it gets 20 episodes roughly, or maybe 18 or 16 episodes, then it's probably going to come out the normal time when the show starts, around October, when Flash and Arrow usually start. So yeah. When do you think that the team will find out Nora's secret? Maybe this week. If I had to make a prediction, I don't know if they'd find out her complete secret, she's working with Reverse Flash and stuff like that. I think they might just find out that she's hiding stuff. I think that's the main thing that they might find out. She's hiding a secret. And then maybe they start to work with Sherlock because, they finally... Maybe that's why they did the whole thing with Iris and Sherlock this week, because Iris had this massive blow up. But then next week or the week after, it's actually going to be revealed that Nora is actually hiding something. Slade with the $2. Thank you very much for that. Have you heard anything about Cloak and Dagger season 2? No, I have not. Would have no idea what's going on there. Thank you very much for that. I just honestly don't know anything. I'm sorry. What's my opinion on Real World of Flash? Yeah, we have some memes. Just some joking around. So are they going to make a Superman show? And what do you think of Batwoman without Batman? Me personally, I don't like that they don't have Batman. I think they will have Batman on Batwoman for literally a bit, not much, but they'll have some sort of thing where they'll be able to have him, whether it's a silhouette or something Titan style. They'll have something like that, or they might have Bruce Wayne, something along those lines, or they'll have a younger version of Kate Kane and Bruce Wayne, something along those lines. They'll work him in somehow. Or they have like news footage of Batman or something. Is Apartment 4 getting old? Apartment 4 just hasn't been relevant for a bit. Unfortunately, when Earth 2 Harry went back to Earth 2, we just, there was no investigation into Apartment 4, which is just very disappointing. Sorry, I'm just scrolling through. Bro, this season is boring. Bruh, this season is so boring. No lie. I don't think it's boring. I think it's just... I think Flash has had like disappointing episodes. Like the Ragdoll episode, they wasted the character and it was just an average episode. Episode 2 got saved by that end fight between Team Flash and Cicada. I'm just hoping that they pick up in this back half. They've teased a lot, especially stuff happening like after probably episode 15. So hopefully it picks up then and finishes strong, because the start for the Flash wasn't that strong, unfortunately. I've got this okay. I was wondering, I saw someone's fix your hair, and I was like, okay, so I think I fixed it. There we go. I think I fixed it. This has been the worst season of The Flash so far. Yes, but you can't judge a season before it's over, because season 3 started well, and then it shat the bed. And then season 3 has been the worst season so far because it ended so terribly. Season 5 could just kill it in its back half. They have a cool character Reverse Flash there. There's some somewhat interesting stuff going on in the present day. So it could pick up and finish pretty strongly. Cool Lego Productions with the $2. Thank you very much for that cool Lego. Why does Reverse Flash look like Wells? You mean in the future? This is meant to be the Wells after Crisis on Earth X, so maybe something happened. But he's got blonde hair. So I think I'm not going to say because a lot of people think this. I think the overall theory is that, what do you call it? The proper Earbud Thorn played by Matt Letcher, the one we saw in Legends and Flashpoint and some stuff in Season 2 as well, has sort of merged with Reverse Flash. The whole DNA change thing is just just because he's changed his identity so much, he's basically merged between the two. So he looks like Wells in regards to the face, but he has the blonde hair like the normal Earbud Thorn. I think that's a common theory. I think they said they're going to explain that. I think I read an interview where they said they're going to explain that. So... when that happens, I don't know. I'd expect it probably maybe the next 4 or 5 episodes, but apparently they're going to explain it. Do you think Earth 2 Laurel gets a backstory? Yeah, they've said that they're going to do that. It matters how much time they focus on it. That's probably the most interesting thing. But they said we're going to get it at some point. They couldn't get... Do you mean they couldn't get the actor for Matt Letcher? He just wasn't approached. They didn't even ask him. He revealed on... Someone asked him on Twitter and he went, I wasn't even asked to do it. And he was he wasn't salty about it. Just I wasn't asked. But I understand, it's just easier to use. The thing is, they didn't get Matt Letcher because they've already got Tom Cavanagh on a contract. So it's easier to just use Tom Cavanagh. And he kills the role as well. So... Matt Letcher being on Narcos had no effect on the Flash. Yeah, he said that as well. Him being on Narcos had no effect on him being the Flash, being Reverse Flash. So it's just basically that either the Flash wanted to save money because they already had Tom Cavanagh on a contract, or they just wanted him to play this Reverse Flash. I prefer Matt Letcher in regards to just comic book accuracy, just because he actually looks like Earbud Thorn. But you can't deny you gotta love Tom Cavanagh's Wells Abad or Earbud Thorn. They're both very good Earbud Thorns. What do you think the odds of Tom Welling returning to the DC Universe / Arrowverse, and who do you think he would play? I'd want him to play Bruce Wayne or Superman. If he came back, you'd probably want him just to play a episodic character, a guest star. I wouldn't want him playing Superman or something. I think it's just when Dean Cain came back to Smallville and also Supergirl, even Terry Hatcher and stuff like that. Even when they used Christopher Reeves and stuff. Obviously Christopher Reeves was in a different situation when he appeared on Smallville because he'd already had his accident and they played into that. But I'd rather just play random guest roles rather than coming on and playing this massive character. Is Joe going to come back this season? Yeah, he's coming back in episode 15. Seriously, dogs, what are you barking at? There's literally nothing outside. Sorry, just scrolling through here. Do you think that the cult of Cicada could happen after that cop gave Cicada that list and then went on a tangent on how... Yeah, so that's, I think, one thing they're playing into with maybe that Jonesy cop dude giving him the thing is like, well, if a lot of people are against metahumans, and they might team up with him, because if you remember in that episode, Sing's like, oh, it's a menace, there's all these killings and stuff going on. So Star City is getting more aware of this Cicada character, or this Cicada person. And if there are people that are, and if they find out that he's literally just hunting down metahumans, he could get a band or a cult to join him. So that's something that, if they do that in the last handful, if they do that in this back half, that's a good thing. That's actually, some people might go, oh no, I don't want that. That's a good thing, because you are just like creating this like big menace for Team Flash and stuff like that. So I don't mind if they do that. Actually, I prefer if they did that. It just matters what he's building up to completely, especially if Grace wakes up. So like, what's his motivation once Grace has awoken? Is it going to be that nurse just constantly like provoking him and stuff, saying, oh, you got to kill these metas? Or is it going to be another reason? Okay, my dog is in that room, and there's something outside my backyard. I can hear rustling in the leaves. I'm sort of scared. Cicada is outside. The dogs are warning you. I think the dogs are barking at whatever is in my backyard. I have no idea what it is, though. I don't want to go look. I'm scared. Why haven't they done Superboy on Supergirl yet? Titans beat them to it. Well, basically, Mon-El was their Superboy. For those that don't realise, they basically just did Superboy, but his name was Mon-El. Thoughts on Supergirl's mid-season premiere? Surprisingly good. I was like, I'm not saying that I was surprised that it was good, but I'm surprised at how good it was. I thought it'd be okay, because Supergirl has sort of improved this season, but it's sort of like surprising with how good it was. Cicadas in your backyard. Well, there were cicadas. They're not making any noise. I was trying to hear if there actually aren't any cicadas in the backyard. But they usually make noise in the afternoon. Have I watched Gotham? Thoughts? A new episode comes out either in like 2 minutes or an hour and 2 minutes, one of the two. But I've watched the first 3 episodes, I think, has been out so far. First, I think 2 or 3. So, yeah, it's okay. It's obviously going to pick up as the season goes along, but it's okay so far. Am I a meta page? I wish. Well, at least I wish I was a meta with half-decent powers. I wouldn't want some weird powers like my hair's on fire or something all the time. I wouldn't want that. That would be terrible. The dogs are warning you, Bird Box. Yeah, I don't know what they've never barked this much. It's not my dog either. It's next door neighbour's dog. I don't know what. There must be like just something. Could be a bird, literally just sitting up in a tree, just looking at them. Yeah, last season Supergirl wasn't that strong. Yes, I think Renee will turn to the good guys now that he found out like what's going on. Like he's technically behind what's going on. Will we see Green Lantern, Wonder Woman, or Aquaman characters in the Arrowverse? I wouldn't be surprised if we saw Green Lantern, obviously the John Diggle Green Lantern, at some point in the Crisis crossover. In regards to the other, like Wonder Woman and Aquaman, I wouldn't expect them. When do you think Godspeed will be in the Flash? Hopefully never. You want Captain Cold to come back? I wouldn't mind Captain Cold coming back as well. You know, I think they've sort of... You know, I didn't mind him in Legends and stuff like that. I liked him in Legends and stuff. I just thought he was mishandled. You know, they really wanted to push that Legend of Tomorrow. They just sort of messed up there. Do you think there'll be a Birds of Prey spin-off starring Katie Cassidy? Maybe. I don't know. It just depends. Like, I think Birds of Prey would be a show that would be fairly popular. Like, girl power and stuff like that. And it'd be pretty interesting. Like, it just matters what characters they bring in there, I guess. But I wouldn't turn down that show. I think it's a good idea. It just matters how it's handled. When will Trickster return? I'd have no idea. He might be in that new Rogues thing, maybe? He might be in that new Rogues. Paige, would you like a female Flash main villain for a future season? It matters what the character is. You know what I mean? Like, what big enough villain could they do to that's a like it doesn't have to be a female from the comics. They can just gender bend like they've done a lot of times. So like, what other character could they gender bend into making a main villain? Like Cobalt Blue, you have to keep it like I think Eddie Thorne to create like a personal connection there. You, who knows? Maybe Nora's the villain this season. You never know. We might already have the what do you call it? The female villain in our presence with Nora Allen. So maybe she's already there. So I don't know. I have to wait till the end of the season to find out. What's the possibility of getting Hawkman and Hawkgirl in the Crisis crossover? It's a possibility, I guess. It wouldn't make sense if they weren't there. I mean, like, they were Earth's in crisis. You're on Earth 1. Come and help. So I guess it would make sense if they actually tagged along. Happy birthday to Jake there. Hope you have a good day. Do you think Nora is from the same time period as the flash forwards on Arrow? No, the flash forwards on Arrow in like 2039, 2040, while Nora's from 2049. Like, she would exist in those Arrow flash forwards, but she's not. The Nora we're dealing with isn't from that time. I saw a lot of clickbait videos saying like Nora and William working together, and I was like, you literally watch the first episode and stuff. They tell you that they're from different time periods. Anyway. What is your opinion on the CW becoming more and more SJW liberals? They've been spreading a lot of feminist propaganda on Supergirl. Well, Supergirl's always been a bit like propaganda-ish. Arrow made the mistake by being a bit SJW, and they having gone back to it. Flash never really does it, from what I know, and Legends doesn't really do it. Like, Legends can be a bit left, but that's because of Guggenheim and stuff. But it's all American stuff. Like, that's the thing. I'm Australian, and I look at them like, okay, like, I really couldn't give a crap about what you're trying to point here because it's really directed towards Americans. Anyone outside of it, like, you know, America, maybe Canada and stuff, just wouldn't care for that stuff. So you're really limiting your audience when you push that stuff because we just can't relate to it, you know? Thank you very much, Jake, for the £5. Thank you, love your channel. Here's a $5. Thank you very much for that, Jake. Greatly appreciated. Hopefully having a good day. Thank you, Moa Gamer. Do you think Felicity's going to die on episode 16 of Arrow season 7? Well, spoiler alert, okay? So this is posted on Instagram. I'm surprised they allowed this to be posted on Instagram. Now, this could be present day. Possibility this is present day stuff. But Emily Bett Rickards and Colton Haynes were on set together. However, I'm pretty sure the guy who plays older William, who is Ben Lewis, was on set at the same time as well. So it looks like we might be getting older Felicity in episode 16 of Arrow this season, which would confirm that she's not dead. However, this could maybe be just a coincidence that the older William was there, and maybe this is present day Roy who's there, and then we have, you know, just present day Felicity. So that could be what's happening there. Is Legends good this season? I don't mind it. I think it's pretty good. I think it's continuing on. It's not as good as last season, but it's still pretty good. A lot of people don't like it though. What type of dog do I have? I have a Labrador. I think he might be, because it's hot, I think he's in the garage, because the garage like floor is nice and cold. So he just lies on that. Do you think The Flash could be better if they focused on Barry more like seasons 1 and 2 instead of focusing on Team Flash all the time? By the way, love your channel and your videos. Yeah, that's one common complaint I've seen this season is like Barry's a passenger on his own show, which you sort of can't deny because Nora is basically the main character this season. I think Nora, while I don't mind her character, has really derailed some other characters like Barry, even like Iris. Like we're meant to get this whole journalism arc with Iris, and we've got like one scene with it when she was at the Ragdoll episode when she went to interview some of the people there, and then I think there was maybe one other scene which I can't remember. Like the Ragdoll scene I can remember. There might be another one, but you know, if Nora wasn't there, we didn't have her storyline. Iris's journalism stuff would have gone forward. And like, did we need Nora to do this Cicada stuff? Probably not. They just needed her there to tie some Reverse Flash stuff, I guess. So I would like a more focused on Barry, but maybe they're like, well, where do we take Barry? Where can we push him? You know, Barry's already pretty overpowered, so where can we take him from here? So maybe that's the issue that they're facing. Out of all the DC shows, which one is the worst to you? Probably Supergirl, but I wouldn't like. It's just the they're not the best out of the four. I wouldn't say worse, not in a negative way, if you know what I mean. Because I think it's getting better this season, Supergirl. It started off rough, but I think it's getting better. So I guess Roy never loses his arm according to the flash forward. Yeah, but I'm not, you know, it's hard to do that. Like, it would have been like a one-off scene. Like, oh, okay, lost his arm, you know. I'm not too fussed over him losing or not. It'd be cool, but I'm not too fussed over it. Do you think they would ever do a spin-off with Nora like he is in the future? Probably not. The only spin-off I could ever see from a show and it being set in the future would be from Supergirl with the Legion of Superheroes, which I guess could involve Nora because she's meant to be in and they tease it. But Legion of Superheroes is a show I could see them doing in the future. It'd be an expensive show to make though, like making all the future sets, unless they're a crew that time travels, but then you're just copying Legends of Tomorrow. You know what I mean? Nora should leave the show permanently. Well, I think she will in like what? 12 episodes, 11 episodes. But guys, I'm actually going to end the stream here. We've been streaming for just under an hour, but I wasn't even going to stream for this long. I'm probably going to only stream for 40 minutes, just do a random one. But thank you to everyone that tuned in. Thank you to everyone that's had a chat and spent your time here. Hopefully you had a good time. Thank you to everyone that donated through Super Chat or through Streamlabs. Greatly appreciate it for supporting the channel. Hopefully you all have a good, well, it's Friday for me. I'm guessing it's Thursday night for you, but hopefully you all have a good Friday. Tomorrow in your time, and then have a good weekend. I'll have some videos out over the weekend, so hopefully I'll see you then and you watch them and stuff like that, and then I'll be back for probably another live stream before the Arrow is on. So I'll see you then for that live stream, but until then guys, I'll catch you later. Goodbye.